Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this episode we are going to talk about data structure and algorithms versus development. Today was Friday and it was kind of a bit less of work, so I did finish my work today early and slept in the day. So I might be looking fresh than other videos. So let's get started first. So there is always a confusion or contradiction when you are planning to do complete programming or data structure algorithm or development. So one always thinks that whether should I do data structure algorithm and leave development, or should I do development and leave data structure algorithm, or do both or leave both, any sort of thing. So this is kind of Venn diagram, like intersection union kind of thing. But let's get started, and in this video we are going to talk about what should you do, when should you do, how should you do, and various other things. So let's get started. So I told let's get started about 3 times or 4 times now. So let's actually get started. So the first and foremost thing is differentiating between complete programming and data structure algorithm. So people are often confused between these two terms only, not the development one. So let's reframe these two terms first. So data structure algorithm and complete programming are closely related and work in conjunction to each other, but they are slightly different from each other. So you can think of as a complete programming is a big giant planet. In there a small place there is a data structure algorithm. So people often say you do complete programming, you will be good in data structure algorithm. So this is the thing, that you do complete programming. So complete programming is a big thing, and you do complete programming is a big thing, and in there lies a data structure algorithm. So if you do complete programming, you are covering that data structure algorithm part wala thing and certain other things as well. So it is a big thing. So complete programming is DSA plus some other things as well. So it's not that you always need to do complete programming, but it's better to do that. We'll talk in some other videos as well, but in this video we are gonna mainly cover the small part of complete programming, that is DSA versus development. So development is basically web app development or app development or any sort of development. So first and foremost, why should you do DSA? So why should you learn data algorithm? So if you're into CSE or IT branch, so you might be getting that as a subject, or if you're other branch as well, so you might learn that from various other sources. So what happens is data structure and algorithms comes in the interviews. So when you sit for placements, so it is the main thing, that major thing that is asked in this particular interview problems. So it is most recommended to do it. If you do it, you will get a job, this kind of thing. So it is mainly asked there. So if you do data structure algorithm, there are kind of notion that if you're good with data structure algorithm, you have that building logical ability to do development as well. So this development and DSA sync with each other, that you do one, you might be you might do better in other as well. So consider doing DSA. So if you're doing DSA, you have that logical skill of building thing, that how actual thing works, then you apply that particular DSA in development. So this is things work. So basically this is the reason that companies often ask data structure algorithm in their interview rounds. So let's move on to second part, that is why should you do development. So why should you do DSA? Because it asks in the complete programming round, and it helps you to build logical skills as well. So next, why should you do development? So first and foremost, there are various things that people can do with development. So first of all is building their own project. So they might have an idea that they are thinking of building of. So they learn development and build that product, and what are the technology they learn that align to that development, what are the project they are thinking. So what should best they learn that. And the second thing is somebody wanna build project to add in their resume. So what happens is when you crack that coding interview round that we talk about using DSA, so in the face-to-face round where interviews sit in front of you, nowadays it's virtual, so you talk to face-to-face. So in that face-to-face round they ask again DSA. So in that DSA again, that covers data science algorithm, some subjective problem they ask. After that they ask based on your project. So what happens is they mix a ratio of asking question based on DSA and computer fundamentals and other things as well, and the projects. So they test on your project as well. So you might have mastered one technology or build your project in one technology. So they ask the question based on the project, like why you have used this technology, why not others, what is the benefit of using this technology, what are the problems you face. This kind of question comes in. So after this kind of question comes in, like you have done the project and nobody knows better than you about that project, so you have a slight bit edge on this project side. So here comes like you should do project and add it to resume. More the project you have, more the chances of shifting the conversation toward the project. And I told you, like nobody knows better than you about your projects. Okay, so this is the one thing about projects that help in interviews. Next thing, you can build a portfolio and showcase to your various people. Last thing, like freelancing. So various people go into freelancing. I was also into freelancing, and they like to earn. So in freelancing you don't need a degree or any sort of thing. Many people learn their own like self-taught programmers and they go to freelancing and earn their livelihood, right? So this is the kind of thing what you get like doing this. So now it might be clear that why DSA and why development, two separate components. Let's now sync that together. So now doing DSA, what should you actually do? So when you are starting with DSA, first of all is generally pick a language. So picking a language is the most important thing when you are starting with DSA, so that it's help you in the long run. So people mostly choose C++ or Java because they when they reach the level that when they are starting with DSA, they are comfortable with this particular languages. But that's your choice, you can do it any language, right? So once you have that language, practice a bit. There are certain known sets of questions that you practice with that particular language, then move on to DSA, then start with arrays, linked list, and move on further. So once you have that data science algorithm graphs, that's pretty good for this placement round or interview rounds. Now development is super vast field. Like there is no compact thing. There are web app development, mobile app development, desktop app development. What happens is first you have to select your niche. So once you select your niche, yeah, okay, I have to do web development or I want to do mobile app development, then get started. So if you're selecting web development, you should generally start with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. App development, there are various platforms, React Native, Flutter, or native apps, Android apps, or iOS app. There are various sets of technology you should learn when you are starting in development. So now you have edge, like okay, what you should do in data science algorithm and what you should do in development. So we have discussed like why and what now. So the last thing we are going to discuss today is how much. So this question depends highly on where you want to be. So let's differentiate this between two things, like on campus and off campus. You are into a college or a place where companies come and you want to be in that company only. So what happens is, suppose you want to get placed in a tech giant and that tech giant comes to your college. So if you are in a good college, or if you're in any college that the company you are looking for visits it, that is one. Second, you want to look for some off-campus opportunity. That is the number two thing. So when college visits your campus, you have like certain bit less competition. So these are some basic things that nobody tells, but I am telling you. So let's visit your campus, your competition is bit less, and outside world there are lakhs and lakhs of students, like 3 to 4 lakhs giving the same test. But in college there are 1200 and most of the college are 300 to 400 students like in a particular batch, so they are giving you the test, so your competition is relatively less in that particular campus. So what happens is they have the problem set, you have practice DSA, so you have a problem set related to that particular batch only. So what happens is you have to do DSA a bit less than when you are looking for off-campus opportunity, because in off-campus opportunity they put the first round, that is online round, on highly on DSA, and in that particular DSA they have very hard question that is not related to development, so you have to practice more DSA on off-campus thing relative to the on-campus. So when it comes to on-campus, there are DSA question, computer fundamentals, and again some other question like aptitude depending on the companies as well. So when it is coming here on campus, you could divide it's like 50-50 kind of thing, DSA budget development, like because it's coming to your campus and the question set is not relatively that high as of off campus, so you could divide it in 50-50 ratio. But again, what you like depends upon you. On going to off campus, you have to bid more on the this particular set of DSA side, because they have highly relatively hard first round, so they can separate the students. So this video is going pretty long, but let's continue. So you have this understanding of now these things now. So you do more DSA in off campus, you do less, like 70-30 ratio you can keep of DSA versus development. So you can do bit less development and in one tech also, and you can build various projects. So this is how you have to manage. So managing these two is super tough, not that difficult, but it's tough. So you have to manage between these two, and you should do these two as well. But if you're into top tier 1 company colleges, where company comes in and select you based on your competitive programming skill, that or DSA skills, that's super good. Again, like doing development can land you in startups based on your project as well. So there are various startups which looks for candidates who are previously experienced in that field. They just hire them and start them working. And what happens in big tech giants is they hire you, they train you, they have capital to train you. But that's not the case with startup. So startup typically sees this projects. So there are some mid-level startups. They are not that tech giant yet, but they are not bad. So they look for mix of this. So this is highly depends where you want to be. So I highly suggest select your companies where you want to apply, then go to Geeks or any other sort of sites. Like Geeks I prefer, because they have written by the candidates who appear for the interview. So there is a section of interview experience where people write their interview experience. You go there and learn there what are the set of questions and what are the things they ask. So based on that, you can decide like you should do development or DSA. Okay, so we talked a lot. I guess it covers most of the thing, but again, like we'll be talking about these things in this channel. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Do leave a thumbs up in this video, and that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.